guys don't wear white. They don't wear white. They don't wear white. They don't wear white.
Welcome to Breakfast and BS with Vince and Friends from beautiful Cinephonies in La Mesa, California, jewel of the hills. I am, as always, your host, Vince. If you didn't know by the name, then you're not paying attention. With me is Sergio Stringfellow Top Down Aloysius Sanchez. One of these episodes we'll get into all his nicknames and nicknames in general, but
someday.
Not today. And as always, producer Virgil, who without him this would be impossible.
Good morning.
The ghost of Barry White, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, baby. I thought he was alive still.
No, I think he's dead.
He passed away.
He passed
Barry
away.
White passed away.
I'm sad now.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever heard Barry White's version of Lowrider? The War song? Yeah, from War.
That sounds amazing.
Oh, it
It
is.
sounds like someone just put the LP on the wrong speed setting.
Oh. Oh, it's crazy. It's crazy because he's just like saying the whole time, like, all my ladies.
Nice.
Lowrider. Yeah, in the Barry White voice. I'm not going to do it right now. I'm not quite there yet. Maybe
Yeah.
after a few more hits of coffee, who knows where we're going to end up. So, to start things off, I think I'm going, what the hell? Say what the hell this week, or what's the
What sucked this
what
week?
sucked this week?
Oh, what would you do without me to remember those things?
I don't know. It's early. I'm not there yet. Like I said, it actually is breakfast, so we're all coming in a little groggy from our Saturday nights. Well, for one reason or another. We're not going to get into that just in case my mom listens on what the hell I was doing. All right?
That's how you know it's a good night, when you have to shame is
Plenty of
involved.
shame. We'll get into that later. Maybe on a Mother's Day episode, we'll have my mom in here and we can talk about all my many shames.
That would be fantastic.
You know what?
Well, you'd have to be there. Who's going to record this thing? I'm not computer literate.
Yeah, and I also will have to say I second the idea because I don't want my mom. Because we probably would just be more confused than anything.
So, okay, what sucked this week? Sergio, take us down the road.
Let's see, what sucked this week is something that actually has always kind of pissed me off, but unluckily, this week I was freshly reminded of this. I was driving down the highway, I forget where the hell I was going, and one of my many jaunts up and down the entire county of San Diego, but there was a truck ahead of me. It was a cement truck or something, and ended up seeing a piece of concrete or whatever fly, and hit the Z right on the hood. And, it didn't sound too bad. Thought nothing of it. But ended up getting to my destination and checking it out. And, sure enough, there's a fat dent. And I'm just thinking to myself, why? How is it that we allow, these trucks to drive? Gravel, trucks, on the highway, just dropping gravel with like absolute disregard for, like. I'm pretty sure if I was doing that, hauling a freaking trailer full of gravel and I was dropping rocks and shit, I'm pretty sure that, there'd be more than one or two upset drivers. But somehow it's okay when these big trucks, do it. So, that kind of sucked, the Z's already beat up, so I didn't really feel one more, one less. It doesn't really matter at this point, but... I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that just bought a brand new car, and they're driving behind a freaking gravel truck and they're getting, peppered with gravel. I'm sure they don't appreciate it. I really think that we gotta find some other way to transport this crap, or, just have those trucks only travel, during off-peak times or something. I don't know,
Yeah, what's an off-peak time?
Yeah, well, no, we're not talking about LA. We're in San Diego, okay? I understand LA, there's no such thing as an off-peak time. San Diego, we do. We have rush hours, yes, I understand. But we also have, you drive around San Diego at 2, 3 in the morning, man, there's nobody on the damn road.
Yeah, but construction sites are working in the morning through the afternoons.
Well,
and
I'm
all
talking
that
about
stuff.
just
So,
moving the logistics, moving that
you're
shit
getting the
around.
material.
Yeah. And maybe, I guess it's just me on my freaking trying to live in an ideal world where I don't have to worry about my freaking car getting dinged by, gravel trucks. But,
Your car's getting dinged by life.
wow, I think we all are.
Yeah, that's true.
This is an analogy, I think. So, I don't know. Just kind of a dumb rant. There's no real way to get around it. I know there's going to be shit flying off everyone's cars, hitting everyone else's cars. That's just the nature of the beast.
Mm-hmm.
But
every once in a while, you'll get a couple little shits fucking standing on top of a bridge and throwing rocks.
yeah. Well,
that-
there's no excuse
that's
for
messed up,
that,
that's
you know.
Yeah, and
There's nothing productive going on there. I understand someone, trying to move gravel from one job site to another, but if you're just an asshole on top of a bridge throwing rocks, you need to get the shit kicked out of you.
oh, definitely. All right.
So I defer to producer Virgil there. My rant was short, sweet, not too great, but
My week, I'm kind of. It's actually wasn't too bad, work wise. Last night I had a pretty fun gig and stuff like that. But every morning when I drive into work, there's this security guy who watches over the parking lot, particularly the hybrid area, which is I solely appreciate because you always have these a-holes who park there in a BMW and stuff like that. And I'm like, really? And then
Have you seen the Tesla? Those things are beautiful.
I have, but I don't think anyone at work owns a Tesla. But anyway,
I'm just saying, like the few times I've seen them in person, I'm like, God damn, those things are
they're
beautiful.
nice. They're nice. I mean, once they can have an economy
level one. They're supposed to be coming out with one.
I hope so. But in any case, so this security guy every morning will ask me, "Hey, did you watch The Flash? Did you watch Supergirl? Did you watch Legends Tomorrow?" And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I feel like I'm missing out, But there's just too many shows out there. I mean, man, the internet is just really made casual TV viewing so. I don't want to say it's not available
casual,
to you.
not casual anymore.
Yeah,
Now
because
it's
you
like-
actually have to carve out time out of your life. If you don't do that, then you miss the next show.
Before it was like TV worked around your schedule. Now you have to work around.
Yeah, I mean, here's a good thing. So here's a good example. So Breaking Bad was on Netflix, and then people just kept telling me how good it was. I binge watched it for 5 seasons it was, and 5 seasons it was, and so in any case, I was able to finish that. But when there's a show that's ongoing, you don't know when it's gonna end. Like Arrow, I don't know when Arrow's gonna end. I mean, I don't think anyone wants to, but
I think they got 2 more seasons left in it.
you think so? But I mean, seriously, it's like
crossover stuff though.
Yeah,
I mean, The Flash is actually doing a crossover with Supergirl on
that's
an
what I heard.
episode.
That's what I heard. Same director, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
something like that.
So my whole thing is that, man, I just I want to watch these shows. I'm as big of a comic book geek I am. It's like I hate being an adult. It's like you have stuff to do.
Being an adult would be awesome if you didn't have any responsibilities.
Yeah, that is pretty much just the definition of being an adult.
If it wasn't for work,
Yeah.
Rent,
Yeah.
and that kind of stuff, being an adult would be great.
or the lack thereof in some
Yeah.
in some instances.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, and then also, the Oscars are today,
Yeah.
and I don't think I've watched any of the movies that were nominated or whatever.
This is hard because shows. There's just so much content and so many shows. Movies, you kind of, I got a chance to see
An
Deadpool,
hour and a
The
half, 2
Revenant.
hours, yeah.
But
Yeah, yeah.
I don't really care about the Oscars or any like those award
I don't-
shows,
yeah.
just because it seems like a lot of grandstanding for a bunch of people just to pat their own backs. But I'm glad we touched on this. I didn't want to get into. I kind of wanted to get into this. I kind of didn't.
Yeah.
But just how everybody's making a big deal about the whole Oscars are white and all that stuff. Never mind the fact that a couple of years ago had a best female actor was black and all that stuff. Guess what? The head of the committee is a black female. And you're saying it's an all white? No. There go people. This is a committee. A bunch of people voted. Yes, there's some older than others, and yes, whatever. But if the movie wasn't good enough to be nominated, thank you. I was searching. Give it a rest. The world is not perfect. But that's the most democratic freaking way possible. A bunch of people were selected to vote. They made their choices. Get over it. Not everything needs to have at least one minority candidate. When was the last time you've seen an Asian?
Oh, I do.
Yeah.
Actually,
Well, he
look it up.
knows. Yeah, what was it, Ben Kingsley?
No, that was one of the first ones.
Oh,
Oh wait, Benny Kingsley.
Benny Kingsley. Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
I-
it was
I'm-
for a supporting role, but before that it was Gandhi.
Yeah. When was the last time there was a Mexican? I don't care. If they did something great that deserved the Oscar, great. Wait, I think the director for Birdman or whatever was Mexican. I'm not sure, or
yeah.
Latino. Hispanic, whatever the hell.
Yeah, well, the director of
Oh, that's right. I actually remember that.
The Revenant. Hopefully, that's a Latino, I guess.
Yeah,
That's
but I don't care because there's plenty of other great movies out there. I'm not gonna let one little award affect my opinion or my reflection on the actor or thing.
Right.
And I think we need to get back to that. Just say, "Look, cool, I get to look pretty for a day or whatever, or charming or handsome, whatever you want to call it. But I know what I'm doing. Whether it's good work, it's bad work, or whatever. I don't need no bullshit little award to tell me that what I'm doing is not worth it."
But you know what's funny? I think it's funny because since we're all comic book fans at this table, we understand that comic book movies just are never... I mean, I hope someday they get the awards recognition because the amount of work and talent that goes in those movies is just as good, you know what I mean, now, as any other subject matter being covered, by Hollywood. But the fact that we're kind of jaded because we know that none of those movies are going to get nominated because it has the stigma of being the superhero movie.
Heath Ledger won for the Joker for Dark Knight Returns. Or
Well,
Dark
but
Knight,
that's
sorry.
a single performance, you know what I mean? Like,
But still, that's
Well,
recognition for a comic book.
it
movie.
is, but are you going to see a Best Picture nomination going to Batman vs Superman? I really highly doubt that. You know
Well,
what
I mean, but there's a lot of.
And didn't they give that to him posthumously too for Heath Ledger?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, there was also the fact that he died. I think in one of his last performances, and the fact that it was very good. I'm not trying to take anything away.
Very
from
good. You just
But-
took a lot away from him, sir. It was great.
It. Okay, I'm sorry. Yes, I'll give him that. But I'm saying like definitely that weight in their minds was he passed away, so let's give credit where credit is due. Had he
also-
not passed away, who knows? you know?
And also look at the collection of comic book movies compared to like in the 70s. I mean,
Yeah.
Superman won some awards. Star Wars won some awards. I mean, that's not a comic book, but still, it's still in that pop
The highly
culture.
stigmatized, subject matter movies,
Right.
I guess.
So, I think it's a lot harder for comic book movies, because they're fantasy. They're not
but,
realistic. You would get like what was it? Big Smart or whatever it's called.
Big Short?
Big Short. That's about real life. So that kind of will probably have an advantage over a comic book movie.
But the thing is, why are we equating this real life to, you know what I mean, or
but-
realism? It's like
The thing,
it's
though,
an art form,
is
right?
Hollywood, just because they're major blockbusters, because a lot of production value and all that stuff needs to go into these movies, Hollywood doesn't really care about that. They're usually about documentaries about gay cowboys eating pudding.
pudding.
That's oddly
But yeah.
that's oddly specific. Is there actually that?
No, well, maybe, I don't know. I just remember that from an episode of South Park. So, what sucks with me this week? Well, you know what? I'm doing my job hunt. Some days I feel good about when I go to an interview, and other days I don't. But you know what? That's my life. I'm right now, and I'm okay with that. What really kind of pissed me off is Friday, Saturday, Sunday in San Diego around this time, the end of February, we have a car swap meet called the Big 3 Car Swap Meet. It takes place at Qualcomm Stadium. And, I've been going there ever since I was a kid with my family. My dad and my uncle sold there now. My dad is no longer with us, but my uncle still sells there. And so, me and my brother went, and we're waiting for everybody to show up. My uncle shows up he's forever late. Just one of those guys that, tells you 6 o'clock, expect him by 6:20, 6:30.
Mexican, right?
Yeah, Mexican.
So it makes perfect sense.
Yeah. So he was getting there later than usual. Finds out that his car, he's an old car. I mean, we're a hot rod family. Got hit that morning while they were getting onto the freeway. Him and my cousin. My cousin was driving his dad's car, and they got rear-ended, and the asshole took off.
Really?
Yeah.
Did the car total?
Oh, from the rear end is just
shambles.
yeah. It can be put back together. We're that damn good.
Yeah.
I'm not.
But
not
the
one,
ego
but-
took a hit.
Oh, my cousin is like, I'm never driving this car again. Mind you, my cousin's 30 years old. He's a grown ass man, and he's traumatized to drive his dad's car. Love you, Jose Luis. I know how you feel. But yeah, that's so just like hit and run.
That's lame.
Oh my god.
And it happens more often than you
Oh
think,
no,
man.
no! I know it happens a lot. Jesus Christ! People,
hope it's not-
take responsibility. Be a fucking
You do
adult.
realize that? I feel there's a lot of. I mean, maybe I'm just old. I don't know, but like,
Yes, you are.
thank you. But like the whole like knockout game and all this. Like, what is all this like heinous behavior? Like,
Kids
lately?
are,
Yeah,
kids
it's
are just
I mean,
stupid.
We,
I mean, we did stupid shit when we were kids
we've gotten
too, but-
dumber as a society.
Yeah.
That I thoroughly believe.
Yeah.
But that's partly our fault, or
Yeah.
not partly our. That's a lot our fault. I mean,
Right. It's YouTube. You know what I mean? The
It's
fact
like-
that anybody can make a video now and become,
it's
go
instant
viral.
gratification.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, oh, look how cool I am. Look what I can do. I mean, YouTube's had a lot of benefits, like, people putting their music out there. I mean, hell, you're listening to us talk. I mean, this is a format I never thought I'd be on.
Yeah.
So, it has its benefits, but then you also get things like planking,
Yeah.
or what you call it?
yeah, the knockout game or eating crackers
Well,
and
here's the thing.
seeing how much you can butt funnel upside down.
Yeah. The thing is that kids used to get the shit kicked out of them. That's the thing. You know what? For me, when I was growing up and I was a kid, screw going to jail. I was more afraid of what my parents were going to do to my ass. You know what I mean? And I think we've lost that. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so if kids aren't growing up, to fear, I mean, in a good way, right? And to respect, their parents. And I'm not saying, like, in all cases. There are some parents that definitely do not deserve respect from anybody, including their children. But I'm talking about good parents that are involved and they have your best interest in mind. Kids don't, you know what I mean? They don't have that respect. But then again, parents are also not, expecting that, right, from their kids. It has to be a reciprocal thing, right? Kids aren't going to grow up respecting unless they're expected to respect, And so if they don't grow up in that environment where they're expected to have respect for their parents and authority figures, they're just not gonna. It's gonna continue. You know what I mean? All other aspects of their life. So it's a detriment. It really is. Parents, kick the shit out of your kids. I'm sorry. Sometimes you just need to. I'm not talking about beating them within an inch of their life. You know what I mean? But I'm thinking it's these extremes. You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly.
You're spanking them.
Right, exactly. People just take it to extremes. Like, oh, you touched your kid, so you're a bad person and you need to go to jail. No, you're trying to discipline your child, and sometimes, you need to take it up a notch. So anyway, I'm trying to wake up now, I guess. So, Vince.
Like I said, when we were trying to figure should we do this or not, once we get rolling, it kind of just
Yeah, it has its legs.
Yeah. So so that just pissed me off that these fucking assholes just rolled away, and what kind of bugged me too. But it's just a little thing. We're at a car swap meet, and there's campfires and all that shit. So when I come home, I just come home reeking of a goddamn hibachi.
Yeah, you smell like a fucking s'more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't mind that at all. I mean, but just when you're trying to take a nap, you have like your head in your arm, and you're like,
Smelling mesquite.
What's burning?
Yeah. It smells like carnitas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The carne asada yesterday. Excellent. Just saying. All right.
We got a bunch of Mexicans gathered in a parking lot. I'm sure the carne asada is gonna be amazing.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Okay. So we're doing okay on time. We got a little bit left, but I'd like to bring up a topic that was coined by our producer Virgil many moons ago. It's something near and dear to my heart because I talk out of my ass 98% of the time.
No.
It's been told. It's been said. So that's probably the main reason why I'm the one doing the speak. My name's on the letterhead for the show.
You're lead hitter for a reason. Yeah.
But this term is called Vince-isms. I don't remember a lot of these, but I'm sure my two friends here have some of their favorites they'd like to share. But I'd like to start off by this is actually a surgism, but it was the best way I've ever been described, in my opinion. And one day, I think me and Sergio were at a restaurant, and he's like, I was making some fucking stupid comment, and he's like, you know what, Vince? For a sober man, you sure have a lot of drunken comments. That was my favorite. That's what I remember the most.
I don't know, Virg, you kind of put me on the spot. There's so many. It's just really hard to recall. And I don't know. We'll have to come back. I don't know, Vince. You want to keep rolling with it while we think of something?
I remember some.
We can cross that river when we get to the ocean.
Yeah.
Oh, I got one. So, So we were playing, or we were just watching TV or playing video games at Sergio's place, and so I was reaching over for my soda, and then I think Vince said like, "Oh, you have to cross the carpet river." I was like,
Yeah, mind the carpet river.
that was awesome.
Yeah. Me, Johnny Lowe, who's on the show time to time, used to live with Sergio for 5 years.
Yeah,
No, yeah.
ish. Yeah, here,
5 years ish.
condo out here in
It was
Chollos.
an era.
Yeah, it was an era. It was an era in life.
Yeah.
And we had a nice little couch set up, a nice little coffee table. The only thing is the coffee table wasn't long enough.
To fill the
Like,
space.
the coffee table to couch ratio wasn't equal. So if you sat on the farthest couch, you were really stretching. Like you almost had to be a goddamn yogi to to get whatever you're reaching for, be it your drink, your food, whatever.
Yeah.
So hence the carpet river was born.
That's awesome.
Now that my brain's working, I remember one of my favorites when it comes to Vince is he refers to himself as a glass is half whatever it needs to be kind of guy.
Oh.
And honestly, I think that's one of the most profound, things that I've heard in a long time, because everyone thinks of it as, the glass is half full, the glass is half empty. It's just very black and white. But then there's this other possibility, right, which is just the glass is half whatever it needs to be, right? And it's kind of just that idea, that principle that we have, here at this table, that it's all about the little things. You just kind of roll with the punches. If we didn't, focus on the little things and roll with the punches, I don't think any of us would be alive here today to talk to you. Just with the amount of shit, you know what I mean, that goes on in life. You kind of have to poke fun at it every now and then. And Vince is a master when it comes to that. He truly is. So you'll hear some from time to time, but that's one of my favorites.
Yeah, just wait till I get more warmed up on the microphone
Yeah.
and more comfortable. I'm sure
We could
a lot
dedicate
more
an
will
entire
pop up.
podcast to number one, all of my nicknames throughout the years. Number two, all of Vince's Vinceisms. So
Okay, I don't know if this counts as a Vinceism or not, but it's one of my favorite stories ever. So, I was wrestling a man named Crazy Clown a couple of years ago.
Oh, Crazy
I was having back problems at the time, and so we wrestled on a Saturday night. I go to give him a move called a back body drop, where I basically bend over, he jumps, I flip him over. He got a cramp midway through the run, so he didn't jump. So when I lift him up, I'm using my back to lift him.
his entire body weight.
And we get about halfway, and then I just dump him over, and I bend back over. I won't even call it a match, because an abortion was something that should have been a match. And my back was screwed up the rest of the show. It hurt.
The rest of the show? Like
Well,
the rest
let me finish.
Yeah, all right.
So I get home, and at the time there was a couch at our house.
The couch of healing?
The couch of healing, because whenever I get hurt, I'd be hurt because I'd go to that couch and I'd just lay there.
Mainly because that's as far as he can make it
Yeah.
into the house.
Yeah, into the condo. We had stairs. Fuck that.
Yeah. Stairs with a bad back ain't happening.
Yeah, bad back, bad knee, broken foot, whatever happened that week. And so Sergio comes home, sees me on the couch of healing, and he asks, "Vince, what happened now?" And my response was, "I wrestled the fat clown that couldn't get light." So I don't know if that's a Vinceism or not.
It was your reaction. You know what I mean? I think that's his off the cuff, stuff is definitely some of the best. You'll hear more of it hopefully here on the show.
Yeah, so would like to leave you with that. Get to know a little bit of me and what you might be able to expect from time to time. So, a little bit of advice for the world. Don't wrestle a fat clown that can't get light.
Yeah. And enjoy the little things. Be a glass is half whatever it needs to be kind of guy.
Yeah, thank you. So, thank you very much. You can find Sergio Sanchez on Facebook at sergiosanchez.com or Sergio Sanchez Facebook, whatever the hell it is. He's the one riding the tank. Follow producer Virgil's band Still Ill at still-ill.net. And on Facebook, look them up. They're great. And you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Maldecilo1904. Thanks very much. I'll get the check.